Can we normalize the juggling act, the magic that it takes to create balance and discipline while you are a stay-at-home, work from home, part-time, full-time mom, trying to turn a house, apartment into a home? All the things you do on a day-to-day basis, juggling, and you still feel like it's not enough, dealing with guilt, dealing with inferiority, feelings of failure, because the jack of all trades thing, like, people say, like, you can't master because you're not focused on one thing. As a mother, it's quite impossible to not be a jack of all trades. You have to hone in and embrace the multifaceted, multitasking aspects of being a jack of all trades. Like, there's so many hats you have to wear that focus is more so of not ignoring the rest, but putting a pause on some. But a lot of times, you are just in a constant state of multitasking. Like, and our minds are not necessarily wired to multitask, because some things are gonna fall at the wayside. But don't look at that as a failure. Just understand that is part of multitasking. Like, some things are gonna get more attention than others at certain aspects of time. You're a cook, you're a cleaner, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a therapist, you're a mother, like a nurturer, like and it's like, when you have children, let's normalize the knowing that there's only so much you can control. You have to surrender to the chaos sometimes. Like, especially, say you're full exclusively breastfeeding and pumping. We don't talk enough about how there's a lot out of your control in those matters. Like, you're at your child's every beck and need. Like, all this training they be trying to do for these newborns, that's coming from a person who's trying to make something that's natural fit into the constructs of Western culture around working and corporate responsibilities. When you have a crying baby, but you're trying to make dinner and you're trying to brainstorm and organize your entrepreneurial ideas and how you're going to break intergenerational patterns and how you're going to heal intergenerational traumas and how you're going to be the chain breaker, and while figuring out how you can be mindful and regulate yourself while thinking about all the appointments that you have to plan and all of your sons, all of your other children who are bigger, their school schedules and activities. And come on, guys, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Did you hear all that I just said? You probably overwhelmed just hearing me say it. I'm doing this podcast literally right now as I watch my son teething on this little silicone straw. Like, this real. This is a real, raw, uncut explanation of my life. And when I made that disclaimer for this podcast, I did it to give myself grace. I did it to not paint a picture of perfection. I'm not trying to paint a picture of perfection. And I'm not, and we need to normalize that raw and uncut is not unprofessional. It is what it is. This is me still getting the message. A lot of times the message in a word is lost in aesthetics. I'm not going to aesthetically always be pleasing to an aspect of your mind, but trust me, there is that innate energy that I'm tapping into, because your higher self understands the message, and whether you're able to see past it, based off of other constructs and mindsets that we have, there will be an aspect of you that hears it and feels it, and eventually that seed will flourish and nourish and grow. So I learned this has helped me with my perfectionism, like to not overly obsess, overly analyze. I try to incorporate little things like that to give myself the grace and to focus on the message that God wants me to put out. I can't sit up here and think about, I have to have this podcast area set up. I have to make it look like the people on social media. That's why I had to take a social media break, because a lot of it was killing my creativity and my authenticity, because I was chasing the algorithm instead of following God. being the true leader that he put into me, realizing that he is my only credential and that I do not have to prove myself to people who are on the fence about who I am, and that I need to just be who I am, deliver my message in my tribe, and the people who feel that and understand my passion for my community of African American people, understand what I specialize in: spiritual awakening, empowerment, mindset, abundance, trauma informed, diversity, equity, and inclusion, bridging the gap, leveling the playing field, helping us waken, liberate, and ascend to our birthright, to heal these intergenerational traumas that we have that are holding us back, to heal the stories and the history and the narratives that are lodged in our subconscious and untapped unconscious that we operate out of 90% of the time. That's what I'm here for. All the other shit, I'm sorry, excuse my friend. All that other stuff, I don't have time to stress and obsess over. Those things, that black and white thinking, those aesthetics and everything else that fall under that umbrella is what stops us. It's what impedes us. It's what feeds the inner critic. It's what feeds the ego. And that fear of being seen, that fear of making mistakes, that fear of looking like a failure or a fraud, when you will be if you try to be that person, because that's not you. Yes, it doesn't mean that you can't hone your craft and build your skill, but I'm going to do it when I'm capable. I'm going to make a segment and plan it out and have a structure to it when I can. But as of today, you're going to hear my son in the background. Because guess what? If I would have stopped to try to say, oh, I need to be organized, I can't record this right now. He's babbling, something babies do. I can't record this right now. You know what would have happened? I would have lost the whole momentum. I would have lost the whole spirit, the energy, the passion behind the message. I would have lost it. I would have forgotten it. The devil would have did his duty, because the devil be busy. When that energy is high, when that passion is high, there's a lot of distractions and interruptions and corruptions that happen. I'm right here cooking dinner, watching my son, and recording this podcast. Multitasking. Masters. Defying all odds. Mind over matter. But yeah, this is just to give my mothers, my entrepreneurial mothers, my hardworking mothers, my breastfeeding mothers, like, just that grace. Give yourself a break. And I'm not saying like a break as in stop, like rest, but that too. I'm saying like give yourself a break mentally. Like give yourself some credit. Like go easy on yourself. Give yourself grace. You're doing a lot, mama. Like you are. Sis, we only can do so much. Just always have the space for you in there. That's it. You can't pour from an empty cup. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Love you. Peace out.